So with no further ado, let me pass you over to Michael McFarland, who is the Vice President of Product Management and Marketing at Benu Networks. He's responsible for all the product management and marketing at Bennu, with over 20 years of service, both in startups, as well as some of the largest vendors across the industry. Michael's panelist session today is around the value of hybrid SASE MPLS solutions for the enterprise and carrier. Michael, let me pass the mic to you.
I'm going to be talking about the combination of SASE and MPLS and how that drives value for both the enterprise and the carrier. And to do that, I'm going to first just give a quick introduction to Benu Networks for those who aren't familiar with us, and then I'll dive into the enterprise needs and requirements, what's required to meet those needs, and how carriers can deliver on that. So just quickly about Bennu, we've been around since 2010, headquartered in Boston. We are a leader in software-defined edge solutions. And we focus on that because we are giving our customers a tool to maximize the value of their edge networks, which is where we believe there's tremendous opportunity for carriers and leveraging that edge footprint that they have. We are a heavily engineering-led organization, and that is due to our commitment to innovation and technology, and we are frequently recognized by industry organizations being a leader in technology. You can see from the sampling of customers, we have some of the largest operators in the world that have used our products, but we also serve a lot of tier 2s and tier 3 operators as well. We have been deployed at quite high scale and have over 7 petabytes a day of traffic going over our software, which is more traffic than all the wireless North American operators combined. So it's a significant amount of traffic that the operators are relying on us to route and handle. And we have over 25 million connected homes and businesses, and growing every day. We do have some great partners that have been with us along the way. And in fact, if anyone's going to Mobile World Congress, you'll be able to find us in the AWS booth next week, demonstrating our SASE solution in combination with them. So just a little bit about our product line. We have a platform called the Software Defined Edge platform, which runs a variety of network functions. You can see on here on the list, there's CGNAT, there's WAG and TWAG for Wi-Fi hotspot services and service provider Wi-Fi. We have the broadband network gateway and provider edge router. We also do some things in the 5G space for wireless wireline convergence. And last but not least, our SASE gateway, which is to provide secure access service edge solutions for enterprise and remote workforce. And the entire set of solutions can be managed then with our advanced services cloud from anywhere in the network. So what is driving SASE, and why are we going after this market with our SASE gateway solution? Well, so there's a couple big trends that are influencing it. One is the adoption of software as a service or cloud-based applications. And as you can see from the top table, large companies have, potentially hundreds of cloud-based applications being used, and even small companies have several dozen. So there's a lot of interaction now with applications that are no longer internal to the network. They are actually sitting out on the internet. And the other aspect is the trend in remote workforce. Obviously, the pandemic has accelerated this, and companies like Upwork have estimated that 22% of the workforce will work remotely by 2025, and we see a lot of estimates that are even higher than that from other analysts. The result of these trends is a network that you see on the left here, where you have a variety of branch offices and business sites and homes, all connecting to cloud-based apps on the internet. And as a result of that, you've now really increased your attack surface for your corporate network, because you are no longer keeping everything on a private network. You are now having all these interfaces to the internet. And this results in a very difficult situation to secure. And one potential approach would be to put a variety of network security appliances at each single site, but that is cost prohibitive, extremely difficult to manage, and simply not practical for these modern trends in enterprise networks. So as a result, a lot of enterprises are moving towards or starting to investigate using a secure access service edge, or SASE based network. And a secure access service edge is basically applying security at sort of the edge of the network, essentially, or in the network itself, such that the traffic is secured there and you reduce your attack surface dramatically. And so your interfaces to the internet are more consolidated via these SASE gateways. And this is a far more effective security architecture for today's enterprise. Now, that said, there's still applications oftentimes sitting in a headquarters data center. And so how do you address the needs of that? Or how do you address the needs of connectivity that you need between different enterprise sites that needs to be highly performant, highly available, and highly secure? And so MPLS VPNs have been with us for decades, and they still provide tremendous value and are still used heavily by enterprises. And so the need for both of these really becomes apparent, with the enterprise networks today. They need both private networks as well as a SASE-based network for the cloud-based applications. And so by having both, they can address all of the requirements for internal communications and high performance, predictable performance, et cetera, as well as being able to provide a more efficient architecture for the cloud-based apps and the remote workforce. Now, some of the considerations enterprise need to consider when moving to SASE is their investment in typically a variety of security platforms. And oftentimes that investment is, could be millions of dollars. Furthermore, they've usually invested in training their personnel to leverage these security platforms. And finally, they have oftentimes built operational processes around these security platforms. So rather than make the enterprise forklift change from their existing set of security platforms to be able to move to SASE, ideally you want them to be able to leverage some of these same of a SASE architecture, a network-based security architecture. And so to meet enterprise needs, carriers have to offer a variety of security vendor options as part of this SASE solution so that the enterprise can continue to use those vendors that they've been familiar with and invested in. And the other aspect, of course, like we were pointing out, was that an integrated SASE plus MPLS solution is really what enterprises need. And so in this way, by offering both MPLS VPNs and the secure access service edge, the carriers can help enterprises migrate applications and users and sites between MPLS and SASE as needed. And furthermore, they can take a zero trust approach. And zero trust means that within a network, within your own private network even, you don't necessarily trust all the nodes within it. And so in this case, you can apply SASE or Secure Access Service Edge to the MPLS network itself. So applying a variety of security tools within that internal network. This hybrid approach is something that uniquely can be delivered by carriers and also protects their lucrative enterprise business, which has historically been built largely on these MPLS networks and is under threat from SASE as some customers migrate some of their connectivity from MPLS to SASE. So in order to enable enterprise customers to use a variety of security platforms, you need to have a flexible architecture, something that can offer a layer of advanced security from different vendors, but underneath that have the fundamental sort of SASE security and plumbing. That includes identity management, access management, and the overall routing and connectivity and sort of software-defined WAN capabilities. And then finally, that has to be built upon a global footprint because a lot of enterprises do have international sites. And so the carrier can obviously leverage their own network. But one of the things that we are announcing today actually is Benu's partnership with AWS, which enables us together with AWS to offer SASE solutions anywhere in the world. The other critical piece of offering a solution to the enterprise is making sure that there's a wide variety of capabilities so that you can apply the SASE solution to a wide variety of use cases, whether it be remote workers, a small branch office, or small medium business, or a large enterprise. And so by having a variety of security tools that can be layered in as part of the SASE solution, the carrier can create essentially a marketplace of security solutions for the businesses, their corporate customers to choose from. And so here we're showing, the access network connecting through our SASE gateway, and then back to headquarters, internet or public cloud and private cloud. You could have a VPN connection back into the headquarters. And you can offer a variety of different types of services, whether it be for the home office or for a business branch or whatnot. Now, the carrier also needs to make a few considerations of their own when offering a SASE solution. And the key things that they need to consider is whether they should build their own or resell a SASE solution. And then the second thing is, how can they leverage channels? Because without channels, you can't really build a large book of business. So some of the carriers have started reselling solutions, but we know that many of them are also in the process of determining how to build their own. And the key drivers for building their own are the margins is one aspect. So the margins are probably 4 or 5 times better if they build their own SASE solution versus just reselling. Second aspect is maintaining the customer relationship. So a lot of times with software as a service, that channel relationship erodes and the SaaS provider, the software as a service solution provider, starts to own the customer's relationship quite significantly. And so that's another area that is, I think, important to the carriers to maintain that enterprise relationship. And the last thing is there is some aspect of competition between SASE and MPLS. MPLS providing the private network, but SASE providing sort of a new way to address all the cloud-based applications. And therefore, as enterprises move to more and more cloud-based applications, they're moving more and more traffic to potentially a SASE solution versus MPLS VPNs. And if you are reselling a SASE solution, you are effectively funding your future competitor. So these are all strong strategic reasons for carriers to build out their own SASE solution using software. The other thing about building a business of your own is to be able to leverage channels. And so any SASE solution that a carrier considers needs to have multiple levels of management hierarchy. So here I'm showing an example where the carrier is essentially like a super administrator and can create MSP accounts. And these MSPs perhaps are particularly effective at selling into specific verticals like healthcare or whatnot. And so each of these MSPs needs to have their own administrative tools such that they can create their own enterprise accounts, manage those accounts. And of course, the enterprises themselves also need to have their own administrative accounts to manage their sites and users and policies. And of course, maybe even teleworkers would have some level of administrative capability. So each level has permissions that need to be appropriate to its ownership and role. And so just to give you an example of what this means, so the ISP or MSP would have tools related to administration of the accounts, operations managers for managing the infrastructure itself, and analytics related to subscriber sessions and the end user experience. The enterprise IT team will need to have an ability to manage different sites and different users and create different policies. And for teleworkers, even, you could have an interface for them to define certain policies. And of course, there's guest networks that can be very important to particularly retail establishments where the guest network is a driver of revenue for them. And all of these things need to be delivered in a pre-built solution for the MSP. The carrier can't force the MSP to build these things. You have to have them pre-built so that there's minimal upfront investment. The MSP can adopt them very easily, and it also have pay-as-you-grow licensing so that they don't have to make a massive investment upfront. So from Benu's perspective, we're trying to deliver security solutions within the network that allow carriers to increase their total addressable market. We do this by making sure that we have a variety of security vendor tools such that they can address all the way from small, medium business to enterprise use cases. And businesses can continue to use their incumbent security vendors and platforms. They don't have to do a forklift switchover to a new solution based on SASE. We're also helping them drive higher profits with much higher gross margins, and also, of course, keeping an architecture that really is cost effective. And we've done a few things in this, and of course, partnered with AWS to make this extremely cost effective. The other aspect, of course, is having that go-to-market agility and broad presence. And so here, the partnership with AWS allows us to address anywhere in the world that AWS has a presence, as well as, of course, wherever the carrier has footprint. And in addition, we've developed a solution that allows the carrier to leverage MSPs and their channel partners to drive additional sales. And finally, providing a competitive advantage. So leveraging their existing network, carriers have a particular strength there, and they have edge networks they should leverage. And they can also offer a combination of MPLS VPNs and SASEs as an integrated offering, which is very unique from any of the SASE competitors that they may face.